Hello, 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 family. Hey, friends. Hey, loved ones. Hope you guys are doing well. Thank you guys for tuning in to Code Black. You guys know that I love you. And so, if you are a new viewer, thank you also for tuning in. I do extend the invitation for you to go ahead and hit that subscribe button and subscribe to my channel. And if you are not a new viewer, then welcome back and thank you for joining Code Black. So let's just jump right into it, you guys. Before I start, I do want to also extend the invitation for you guys to follow me on all of my social medias. Nikel Younglove on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. You guys do know that I am a business owner, so I sell hair products for women, shampoo, conditioner, hair oil, leave-in conditioner, things like that for women, all natural organic ingredients, and then I also sell um, products for men as well for the beard, the hair, and the skin. You guys can check those products out at CodeBlaqueCurls.com. They are wonderful. They smell wonderful. And so you guys would really enjoy those products. I will leave a link in the description box below this video. All right, so I wanted to talk about this Alabama banning abortion. Um, I think it's very important that as Black people, the Black community, we pay attention to things like this because this is a big, big deal. I always look at the world and I look at different situations and different things that happen in society, and I always look at it in a way and I ask myself, how does this affect Black people as a collective whole? How does it affect us? Because if you know anything about the community of Black people, we are the most harmed and we need the most help. And for that reason, I always have to question, when something is done within society, is it good for us or is it not? It has nothing to do with any other group and what they're doing. It's nothing to do with that. This is strictly business. So I always ask myself that. So with this Alabama banning abortion, this is a big deal because I'm sure you guys are probably familiar with I'm sure in school or at some point you learned about the Roe versus Wade decision, which is the um one of the major milestones in our history where they use that as a constitutional right for women who you know feel like they are pro-choice and they want to be able to make the decision for their own bodies. So, getting all of that out the way, Alabama has recently banned all abortions. That means it doesn't matter what happens. It doesn't matter if it was a pregnancy at the hands of incest or a pregnancy at the hands of rape. Not even that will allow an abortion in the state of Alabama. The only thing that will allow an abortion is if the woman is her life is in jeopardy, like if she absolutely has to have an abortion or she's going to die, then she can make the choice to have an abortion. That's the only way that can an abortion can happen right now in the state of Alabama. A lot of people are mad about this because this is a big deal. For many years, many years, it's always been where those who desired to get an abortion, they could. Now it's always been like certain what do I want to call it? It's always been like certain limitations um for abortion depending on the state. So because I know like in several states um they have it to where what is it? They have it to where it's called the heartbeat bill. Excuse me. It's called the heartbeat bill. And that basically says that, if there is a heartbeat, then you can't get an abortion. You have to have the child. And so they say heartbeats normally come around the 6 week period of time, which is a little bit over a month. So they have like certain like limits on it, but for the most part, no state has ever had a ban like this. And It's a big deal. I do want to point out that I did do some research. I did some backgrounds. I do know that abortions are very costly. All states do not, like, Medicaid does not um, cover all abortion in all states. I'm going to break that down as well. But abortion, if you're paying out of pocket, abortion can range anywhere from $350 all the way up to 1,000, and that depends on the trimester. That depends on how far along the woman is, and the further along the woman is, the less likely. I mean, the more money it's going to cost. Um, so let's look at some. Let me break down this. So Medicaid, which is that's basically the government paying for abortion. Um, According to abortionfunds.org, there are 15 states where Medicaid do pay for abortions. Those 15 states are Alaska, and Alaska has 3% Black. The next state is California. California has 14% Black. Connecticut, and Connecticut has 11% Black. Hawaii, and Hawaii has 2% Black. Maryland, and Maryland has 30% Black. Massachusetts, and they have 7% Black. Minnesota, and they have 6% Black. Montana, and they have 0.43%. So that's not even 1%. It's 0.43% Black. Um, New Jersey has about 13% Black. New York has 25% Black. Oregon has 2% Black. Vermont has 1% Black. Washington State has 4% Black. West Virginia has 5%. New Mexico has 2%. And that's 15 states. That's 15 states where Medicaid do cover abortions. I do want you guys to take note that with all of these states, most of these states, 90%, like 95, really, like, yeah, like 98% of these states that I just named all mostly have very low Black populations. Why did I bring that up, and why is that important? Because um, Black children are aborted at the highest rates, unfortunately. Black women make up the highest rate of women who get the most abortions. We that is very that's I'm gonna give you guys those numbers. Matter of fact, let me give you guys those numbers right now. I do want to add that Alabama has 26% population of Black people. So, that's a fairly high population of Black people. Let me go ahead and share my screen with you guys so that, actually, I don't have to share my screen. You guys don't have to see that. So I want to say this also. Before 1970, most Black people were against abortion. Before the 1970s, most Black people were against abortions. And a lot of that had to do with the religious beliefs of Black people back then. A lot of Black people were a majority Christian, and most religions even back then that Black people belonged to were against abortion. So that had a lot to do with it. And then also just the makeup, back before the 1970s, having a child meant that you had it could be it could be hard on the family if you really didn't have the money, but it could also be a good thing because if you had like a family business or whatever, the kids can help you run the business. But here are some numbers for you guys. So 58% of all women have abortions are in their 20s. So almost 60% of the abortions are done by women who are in their 20s. So this is not women who are in their teens, because most people like to think that, oh, well, most teenagers are getting a lot of those abortions, like these 19-year-olds and 18-year-olds. No, it's the women in their 20s that are getting these abortions. Um, Also, Black non-Hispanic women have the highest abortion ratio. So Black women have the highest abortion ratio. Just like I was telling you guys, Black women's abortion ratio has reached 444 abortions per 1,000 live births, while non-Hispanic white women abortions ratio is 124 abortions per 1,000 live births. So basically, this is saying that for every thousand uh, pregnancies, 444 of every thousand. Wait, let me see. Yeah, 444 per 1,000. So for every thousand pregnancies, 444 women have an abortion within Black society. White women, for every thousand, only 124 have an abortion. So, uh, yeah, that's just that's horrible. That's just horrible. That we just have to call that what it is, and that's as a Black woman who belongs to the group of Black women, um, you know, that's embarrassing and it's horrible. And it's not embarrassing because, you know, I'm not trying to it's not embarrassing because I feel um like it's something that, is disgusting or something like that. Like I mean, because I know there are different reasons why people do that. And for the record, I am against abortions. I do not approve of abortions. A lot of it has to do with my upbringing. Um, we're not for that. That's just how I was raised. I was raised, abortions are just not good. So, and I still believe that as an adult today. But anyways, 37% of women having abortions are white, 37% are Black, and 19% are Hispanic, and 7% are other. Um, and then they broke it down by religion. 37% are Protestant, 28% are Catholic, and 7% are other religious. Okay, so those are some numbers for you guys. I just kind of wanted to throw those numbers out there. But I do feel like this is something that we need to really kind of address because abortions, as you guys can see, according to the numbers, abortion in the Black community is a major business, to be quite honest with you. And I know people don't like to hear it, but it's true. It's just like the prison industry. People try to say, oh, well, they don't make money. That's a lie. The prison industry is a multi-million dollar industry. Everybody, especially back in the day when they had a lot of those private prisons were, making, getting free labor basically, and, um, being able to capitalize off of free labor. And even now, a lot of those private corporations, they profit off of paying people like $2 and $3 an hour or something like that, like something totally ridiculous, so that even though people who are in prison can kind of work and make like commissary money, um, they're still working for like $2 or $3 an hour. So it's still a form of slavery. And you guys know the whole prison industry thing. I'm sure you guys have heard the school to prison pipeline, and you've heard of, the war on drugs, and how so many Black men and women and young boys have been pushed into the prison industry at disproportional rates and for non-violent crimes. And so that's a whole nother story within itself. But again, that's an industry that makes a lot of money on the lives of Black young boys and men and women. And so it's a money making business, and so is abortion. Like I said, as you guys can see, only 15 states um, will allow Medicaid to pay for abortions. And to be quite honest, it gets really crazy because it has to be like certain clinics take Medicaid there, so it's not like you can just go to the hospital and get an abortion or go wherever you want to go and get an abortion. You can't. You got to go to a specific place that take Medicaid in these particular states where it's free. So that like, that narrows, down, people being able to get abortions, but it's only 15 states. So that's not a lot. And so that means that everybody else, they pay out of pocket. The state that has the highest and the most abortions is Georgia. I believe Georgia has something like Georgia's black population. Okay, so yeah, Georgia's black population is 32%. Georgia, the whole state, because I know sometimes when you say Georgia, people automatically think of Atlanta. No, we're thinking of the entire state of Georgia. The entire state of Georgia, black people make up 32% of the population and 62.4% of the abortions. So, and white people make up 60.8% of Georgia, and white women make up 24.7% of abortions. So basically, white people double the population of black people, but black women like almost triple the amount of white women in abortions. That is a problem, and that's something that we really need to address. And, there are several different reasons why a person may get an abortion. And really, this video is not to say, which reason is the best or which reason is, a legitimate reason. This is not what this video is for. This is just to kind of point out the facts and really, get you guys to ask, yourself, like, what do you guys think of this bill? Like, do you think this is good for black society? Do you think it's bad? Do you think it's something that's going to hinder us? I've recently read some articles about how the national birth rate in the United States is at an all-time low. It's the lowest it's ever been, and it's 32% below birth rate right now. So that means that a lot of people are just not having children. And I believe white Caucasian people have the lowest birth rates. Right now, they are the most um, harmed by, they're not having enough children. And then black people, our birth rate is down a little bit as well, but not as much. And Latino and the other races, they're kind of like right at the same rate. But yeah, so I read an article that the birth rate is down. So a lot of people are wondering if, with the birth rates being down, is that inadvertently affecting why Alabama decided to ban abortions. And I can tell you right now, I was not able to look up the amount of black people in Alabama who are getting abortions, but I'm almost willing to bet that that the I'm almost willing to bet that Caucasians make up most of Alabama, and that I'm almost willing to bet there's probably a lot of abortions going on among the black community there in Alabama, and that may have something to do with it as well. I do think it's very interesting that there's been a bill in place for so many years, and then just like that, it can be overturned. And it was overturned by a woman, a mayor woman who overturned it, a white woman, which is very interesting because white women tend to be against abortions. Um, uh, well, I think the number one, I think Latino women are at the very top. And then um, I think black and then white. I can't remember. I can't remember the numbers, but yeah. So there was the mayor is a white lady who actually, signed the bill into law, and kind of pushed the bill and was for the bill. So I just wanted to kind of bring, some numbers to you guys, some statistics to you guys. Um, and I would like to know what you guys think. Like, do you guys think? I know personally for me, I feel like every single thing in society, I look at everything in the eyes of how does it affect Black people as a collective whole? How does it affect us? Because we are the most harmed, we need the most help. And a lot of times, things that are done, even when it's done in other different ethnic groups, it's still either indirectly or more so directly going to affect us some kind of way. So I like to stay ahead of the curveball and try to figure out what's going on. And I really think that we need to pay attention to how a law has been in place for so long, and at the drop of a dime, it changed just like that. You know what I'm saying? So I think we should definitely take note of that. Because I mean that could you guys know that look, you guys know when it comes to putting Black people under laws and limits and limiting how we move around in society, oh, they will put up a law quick and in a hurry. Okay. So we got to pay attention to that. So that is kind of what I'm looking at. And then, of course, I do see how detrimental abortions have been within the Black community. And I say detrimental because I mean, you got people killing babies. I mean, come on, you guys. And then on top of that, you may have some people that say, "Oh, well, they couldn't afford it or whatever." Oh, and I did read 80% Planned Parenthood is a big, big, uh, clinic within Black communities. There are way more Planned Parenthoods in Black neighborhoods than there are in any other Black and Latino neighborhoods, but more so Black neighborhoods than there are anywhere else. And so that has a lot to do with it too. But 80% of abortions done by 80% of the abortions done by Black women are abortions that are just unwanted pregnancies. So 20% are, the ones that are like, it may be something that had to do with incest, and the person wants to get an abortion. It may be something that had to do with rape, and a person, it may be a medical issue, but that's just the 20%. 80%, the overwhelming majority of abortions done within Black society are done solely because of the person could not afford the baby and they just want to get rid of the baby. I think that was like 50%, but they are not forced abortions. Those they are volunteer. These are women who who volunteer to get an abortion because they just don't want the baby. And that could be because of money, that could be because the father ain't around, or whatever. But so those numbers are, I mean, those are some really ugly numbers, guys. And we really, I mean, it's hard to talk about this subject because again, I'm a Black woman, and I'm a single childless Black woman. So I don't have any children. I've never, had an abortion or anything like that. um and so I'm literally just kind of speaking from a perspective of really my own beliefs. Like I just, in my family, my daddy came from, my grandparents had 7 children. My dad had 6 sisters and he was the only boy. And all of my dad's sisters, which were my aunts, they all had children. So I come from a huge family. And we have our children, we get married and we have kids. And that's just what we do. So that's the background that I come from. So that's the way that I look at things. I've never been an advocate for abortion. I don't believe in abortion. So, but this is not about my personal beliefs. My personal beliefs are my personal beliefs. I want to know what you guys think. What do you guys think about this bill? Do you think it's a bill that's going to harm us? Is it going to make things better? Do we need more, Black people having a bunch of children that they can possibly not really take care of? What are your thoughts, you guys? Like, what are your thoughts? Is this going to be a good thing or a bad thing? I have my own personal, but I don't want to put that on you guys. I would like to know what you guys' thoughts are. So go ahead and drop your thoughts in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Um, And also, I would like to invite you guys to make sure you go ahead, like, share, and subscribe to my channel. You can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook at Nikhil Younglove. Make sure you check out CodeBlaqueCurls.com for any products that you guys may be interested in. I do want to thank you guys for watching. And again, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the comment, hit the share button, and leave a comment, guys. Tell me what you think. What are your thoughts? I would love to hear from you guys. I love you guys. And I hope that you guys are having a wonderful day or night, depending on where you are. You guys have a blessed one. Bye.